In this video lesson, I'm going to teach you about the TTM squeeze indicator. So, if you're brand new to this indicator, this lesson's for you. Alright, so the TTM squeeze setup, it's a very tight range, and it can happen on any time frame. 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute, daily, weekly, it doesn't matter. So that's why I put on any given time frame, because regardless of the time frame that you are watching, this squeeze, which is a volatility contracting, right? Bollinger Bands inside the Keltner channel, it can occur. I want you to think of a rubber band, right, that's stretched. You got this rubber band, you're stretching it. So the further you pull the band, the more energy that's been building up. And what happens is if you stretch it far enough, pop. Right? That band, bam, it releases that energy. I use the analogy of a sprinter. So let's say you run the 100-yard dash, right? You get in the blocks, boom, you sprint. When you're done, you don't immediately go jump into the next race. What you do is, first of all, when you're done, you walk around the track, you might slightly jog, sit down, take a break, right, before your next move or before your next run. So that's the way that I want you to think about the squeeze. Those of you that are new, which you know I love to squeeze, we use the terminology "it fired." And what that means is that's that release of energy. So let's just start off with MS. And we went back for a year, and what we're going to do is we're going to identify these periods of time when there's a squeeze. Now, I will stress this, on the Squeeze Pro, the black dot is a low compression squeeze. The red dot is the normal squeeze. So for those of you that just have the TTM squeeze, that's the red dot. The greens are the same. It's when it fires. So we talked about in the slide about the squeeze firing. That's when it's green. The orange is the high compression squeeze. It's when volatility is at its cheapest, right? We were talking about positioning in there. So look at MS. The first thing that I always point out to the traders that are in my school is we focus on the direction of the trend. Now, one of the things that we don't know is which direction is the squeeze going to fire. Now, there's a lot of stuff that we talk about, little things that you can use like this Forecast Pro, the Red Aim Fire, the Sea Waves, to get you a better idea of what direction it might fire. But in an uptrend, the probabilities are in your favor if you play the squeeze firing in the direction of the trend. It doesn't always fire in that direction, but for a beginning trader, that is the easiest way. So for example, Morgan Stanley's heading up, and I want you to look at this period right there, right? So it's showing you that moment in time where volatility is contracting. And then look at this orange. You can see these Bollinger Bands are narrow. That is the cheapest of the cheapest to buy. And then look, squeeze, bam. So that was the release of energy, right? That rubber band or that sprinter taking off, right? That release of energy and explodes. So what we can do is we can position size when we are inside the squeeze. So let's go look at some more charts. Look at this period right here. So you had green to black, right? Because what's happening is the volatility is starting to contract. And so when it goes from green to black, it's telling you, hey, we're about to take a break for a period of time. Get ready. And then it goes from black to red, right? So it's getting smaller. Now this one never turns into orange, but then it goes back to black. But look at this period of time right here that it was channeling. So that is that moment in time. Again, you had this whole time to position size into this squeeze before it fired and you took profit. Look, even right here, in a squeeze, it goes. All right, so is it a big deal? That's what I want you to ask yourself. Or some of you might be asking right now, hey, is it a big deal? Yes or no? Well, the answer is yes. It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And why? Because it's all about timing and premium. So when a stock is in a squeeze, the options on both sides of the option chain are at their cheapest. So one of the advantages are on the premium. It's cheaper. When the volatility is contracting and it's quiet, the options are getting cheap. So if you're going to be a buyer of an option, for example, it allows you to get in when it's at the cheapest. Now, if you notice, I put red, orange, and black. For those of you that have the Squeeze Pro, and why do I say the Squeeze Pro? The regular Squeeze gives you the red dot, right? When you get a red dot on the chart, that is showing you that period of time where it's contracting, right? It's that rubber band is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Now, orange, for those of you that have the Squeeze Pro, the orange it's at its tightest. So that is when the options are at their cheapest. So if you wait for that orange dot, you can pick up the premiums at even a cheaper. Now, I have a black dot. So depending on when the black dot comes, okay, you can do it before or at the end for those of you that know the Squeeze Pro, but the black dot is called that low compression squeeze. Options are still cheap, but they might be a little bit more expensive than the red. So with the right timing, using the squeeze indicator allows you to take your position when things are quiet, before the breakout or breakdown takes place. Why does this matter? Okay, so with the squeeze, it allows you to build your position whenever things are quiet. This is our edge. It's that moment in time where it's telling us visually on the chart, hey, I'm setting up for my next big move. All right, so now I'm showing you about the TTM squeeze indicator, how we can use that indicator to position size when things are quiet, setting up for their next big move. Isn't that